This video tutorial is on part B of the storyboarding exercise with our stick figure. So the next part of the exercise is to come up with 8 additional storyboards to fit in between, before, after the images that we have currently. So you're going to create 8 more pieces of paper or digital files or drawings to fit in between these. So I'll just take you through a few different ways you can do it. If you're comfortable in working in Photoshop, you can add more artboards within here. So I'll just select this artboard and add another one below that. So now I have an artboard here, and it's called Artboard 9, and Artboard 9 currently doesn't have any layers on it. So with that selected, go down to the new layer icon and click it. So now I have a new blank layer on Artboard 9, and I can go over and grab the brush tool. And remember, the brush tool works using the foreground color, which is currently black. If you don't know about this, check out some of the videos in our course materials and resource folder. With this brush selected, we can also add brush presets. So let's go up to the options bar, and we're going to click on this down arrow to see some of the choices that we have. So go ahead and click on that. We can enlarge this window, and you can see that there's different kinds of brushes. Brushes can be pens. They don't have to necessarily be brushes. Here's crayon, and here's pencil. I'm going to select pencil and bring my cursor out to my canvas, and over here I'm going to draw my additional images. So now I have contents on Artboard 9. I can grab that artboard tool again and move it into the location that I want it to be in. And you can continue to do this for the next 7 more slides. Go to the File menu and you'll save your work, or Command S or Control S on a PC. So let's say you don't have Photoshop at home and you don't have any paper and you don't have a pencil, or you're trying to do this exercise at school and you don't have any of those resources. You can always download an app called Adobe Sketch, which is free, and it is available for mobile devices. Okay, once you have it downloaded, go ahead and open it. And it's going to ask you if you want to start a new sketch, and you're going to say yes. None of these options are what we need, so we're going to go to More Formats, and then scroll till you get to My Formats, because these are all presets, and we don't want that because we have a very specific size. And we're going to say New Format, and we'll name this a stick story. Okay, and then we're going to, if you have units, we want them to be pixels. And then for the width, we are going to put in 1326 pixels. And for the height, we are going to put 904, because that is the size of each one of these artboards. And save the format. Okay, so let's go ahead and open up that format, and I'm going to grab the graphite pencil, and I'm going to increase its thickness just a hair, and I'm also going to make this 100% opaque. Now, the nice thing about Adobe Photoshop Sketch is that it does allow me to work with pressure. So the lighter I draw a line, that was very, very light, and I don't even know if you can see I did it, and now I'll do a hard one. So you can do it in different strokes, and I'll just undo a few, and I'll draw a stick figure. So alright, so let's say you're happy with that stick figure and you're ready to share it. There's several ways to get it out of here. You can go ahead and upload it, and you can bring it into Adobe desktop apps like Photoshop and Illustrator. You can also save it as an image to your photos on your phone. You can link it to a project. You can add it to Behance and Creative Cloud. So I'll just let you choose which one you want to use. If you don't have Photoshop at this time, I would say that your best option is to save it as an image. Now let's say you don't have Photoshop and you do have paper and you did a whole bunch of sketches. So I have a whole bunch of sketches here that I did. Well, this is one of the originals. So I made some other sketches. So go ahead and just take individual photos of each one. Now you want to make sure that when you're taking the photo, you're not like taking the photo like this, like this, or anything weird. And don't just say, oh well, I got the whole thing in there. Make sure that you have no shadows on the page, that you have it nicely framed, and take a photo of it, and take one for each one of your images. Okay, so say you do have paper and you made a whole bunch of sketches and you want to take pictures of them. You can take pictures of them like I just showed you, or you can use a product like Adobe Scan. So let me get over to it. So Adobe Scan will make PDFs, but you can also set it up so that it doesn't do that. I'm going to just it wants to take a picture, so I'm just going to go back to home. I'm going to go to that little cog wheel next to where it said all scans and change my preferences, and in there I'm going to tell it to save the originals to photos. So if that's not selected, I want to select that so that it does remember that, and I can change the default file name so that each scan that I take, because it'll just automatically continue scanning, I can change the name of it. But that's up to you, it doesn't matter. You can change the name of those later. And so I'm going to go back and done, and I will start to take a photo. So let me get out the camera and check out what it does. It puts these 4 dots around the edges. I want to make sure that I don't have a shadow, and I did have a shadow on that, so I'm going to retake it. So instead of taking a picture of my whole desk, it's just taking a picture of that image. And so I'll say continue, and it saved it, and now it wants to know if you want to do another one. So if you're done, you can either go home or click on that picture and check it out. You can rename it. So I'm going to rename this Stick Story _9. Okay, and say okay. And I can say save that PDF up at the top, and it's saving it. So I can share that if I want to, and you'll notice that this picture is only showing me the edges of that image as if I did scan it, not take a picture of my desk too. And let's see what they have under more. We can save those pages as a JPEG. I can modify the scan, I can rename it, etc. So how do I get this over into Photoshop? So I can share the whole PDF to myself on my computer, just like you would any other pictures. And I can share that as a link, I can share that as an email, I can share a copy. So in your case, it might be easy to share this as an email. Since I am at my computer, I'm going to share it to my iMac. So I'm just going to click on that, and I'm doing this through AirDrop. If you're on a PC, this won't work. So here I am back in Photoshop, and I'm going to add that other artboard, and I want to place the image I just took. Here's that Stick Story PDF. Photoshop does take PDFs, so I'm going to place it, but I want to save this as an image. Highlight it, say OK, and it placed it in there in the correct orientation. I'm going to just enlarge it a little bit by pulling on these little handles, and then commit the changes. So I'm just going to fast forward here through me adding the additional images by going to File, Place Embedded, and selecting each one of my images. Once I'm done placing all of my images, it's time to rearrange them. So I'm again fast forwarding through me, moving these around, and all I'm doing is grabbing the artboard tool and selecting each heading or each artboard's name and placing it in the space that I'd like it. if you don't have Photoshop, you're going to print out or draw pictures of all of the stick figure drawings that I made for you. You'll cut them out or redraw them if you don't have a printer, and add your images and take a photo of them and submit that to the assignment. When you're done taking all your photos, or you have rearranged them in Photoshop, you will be submitting them to this assignment, week 1 assignments, Storyboard Sequence Building Part A and B. Also, within this assignment, you will be reading as well and watching some video tutorials and other items. So please explore this and participate in the discussion board that is associated with this assignment.